gentlemen, give it up for Rex Huang.
How's everybody doing? All right, do you guys mind? I've been to a lot of seminars this past 2 days, and then at the end, there's never enough time to do Q&A or giveaways. So you guys mind if I start off by doing giveaways? Let's do that? All right, business card right there, and we'll draw in 20 seconds, so last chance. Gina, you don't qualify? No, just kidding. Last chance. All right, so this portion of the seminar is sponsored by Sunstashes. So if you guys like what you see, you can get these at sunstashes.com. Okay? All right. Oh, here's another pair. Just to double check, 2 p.m. session titled Startup Guide to Owning a Photo Booth. Make sure you're in the right place. Don't take my prizes and leave. It's an absolute honor to be here today. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out and investing in yourselves. And yeah, we're going to draw some names right here real quick. Last one. I'm a big proponent of continuing education. So hashtag connecting, growing, building, learning every day. All right, first winner. Quick, Wonder Woman, right here. Everybody give it up for Danielle. Yeah, give it up for my sound guy, Tommy. Do I sound good? Can you guys hear me? Awesome. I want to give it up to my videographer, Magnite. Yeah, maybe he'll give you a copy if you're really nice. All right, first winner. Quick.
Oh, that was me.
Quick. Give me four winners. Grab 4 of them.
Go, Blackburn.
All right. Bo, congratulations. Next one.
I don't see a name. It's Limelight's Entertainment. Back there.
Limelight, congratulations. That's 2. Hold on, 3.
I really didn't mean to draw it out, but I got Carol. I thought it said Carol.
Congratulations, Carol. And
Okay, Carol. Roger Sargent.
all right, he's still here. Congratulations. All right, give me those cards. You guys get your prizes at the end of the seminar. She'll have them for you at her desk right there. Okay? All right. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, Starbucks?
You said you wanted those, right?
Yeah, Starbucks.
Okay.
You like that?
I don't know. I just.
All right, here we go. By show of hands, how many are photographers? Oh, wow. That's awesome. How many are DJs? Okay. How many are event planners? Good. And how many are starting from scratch? No, that's a really good showing. I'm going to make this session alone worth the trip that you made. My name is Rex. My background is in marketing and photo booth consulting. My experience comes from building a 6-figure business from scratch and consulting for major manufacturers and working for Fortune 500 companies. Today, I'm going to focus on what you need to build a successful photo booth business. The topics that we're going to go over today. What is the capital investment for a photo booth? Who is best suited to run a photo booth company? What is the best software out there? Should I buy or build it? What is the best photo booth to buy? iPads, webcams, DSLRs. What is the best printer to buy? Can I make money doing this? Everybody's always wondering, can I do it part-time? Can I do it full-time? And where do I buy this stuff? Okay? What is the capital investment for a photo booth? Does anybody know? Anybody have an idea? Just shout it out. 10 grand? Couple thousand? 4 grand? Yeah, you guys got it. In order to invest in a photo booth company, it's going to be anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000. What makes it so attractive to get into the business is the low barrier to entry. It's like the photography. I used to say, we used to joke in the office, like anybody with a Costco card could become a photographer. Okay? And I'll tell you a real story. I was in the office with a friend who's looking for a business to buy, and he looked and he's like, wow, I could buy this Chinese restaurant for $55,000. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah. So he went out, he bought it on a whim. He worked it for an entire year. After he paid off some of the equipment and his initial expense, he made $5,000. I don't know about you, but I would rather spend 5 to make 55, and this will give you that opportunity. The most difficult part about the photo booth business, anybody know? Competition? No, it's the business itself, because you're really competing against yourself. Okay? The keys to success is going to be sales, marketing, and customer service. If you're not good at marketing, you can't bring the people in. So this is how it works. You have to be able to market to your audience. You have to get them to call. You have to be good at closing sales. And then in the end, you have to be good at customer service so they'll keep coming back. So it's really about running the business. Okay? It's all about running the business, closing sales, website. If you're an entrepreneur, we all are, it's about website design, expert SEO. It's about knowing your software, being your own tech support. No, there's no Mitsubishi hotline that you can call when your Mitsubishi goes down. You have to figure it out. You have to be a good boss when you start hiring people, and you have to do your own accounting. Okay? So before you buy a booth, please consider all those factors. All right. Who's best suited to run a photo booth company? Come on. Yes, that is the exact answer. Anybody and everybody who's willing to invest the time in the photo booth hustle. Marketing, sales, SEO. You have to do all that. You have to constantly work on those 10 items and be 100% good. But my point there is that if you're not good at something, hire out. So for example, I'm not good at QuickBooks, so I have QuickBooks experts that I hire. I have a lawyer on retainer. So when I do my contracts and business law, I don't try to do things on lawyer.com or try to incorporate myself. I actually have these people on speed dial, and I call them and I consult them so I can focus on what I do well: sales, marketing, closing sales. Lastly, there is someone here who has an advantage. So all the photographers, raise your hand real quick. All right. What is the key to good music mixing? No answer, right? But that's okay, because the photographer will tell you what is the key to taking a great photo in a photo booth. What's the answer there? Yes, lighting. Lighting and the exposure triangle. So the answer to the first question is, what is the key to good mixing? So all those DJs in here, it's all about blending, pitch control, right? So when you do +2, -2, you don't hear the horse galloping, you blend it very well. You're great at mixing. But for photography, it's all about the exposure triangle and good lighting. Am I right, guys? All right. So what is the exposure triangle? Anybody know? Really? Not bad, huh? All right. Exposure triangle is the equivalent to mixing in music or DJ. Exposure triangle is the combination of the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO, and the lighting. When you can learn to blend those 3 aspects, you're gonna make beautiful pictures. One day you might be outdoors, you go, wow, 7.1 at ISO 200, 100, shutter speed, that's perfect. But then you go to another gig and go, hey, it's a little dark in here. What happened? Is my camera broken? It's because you need to master the basics of photography. And photo booth is an offshoot of photography, so you need to learn the exposure triangle. Okay? And then one of the secrets about photo booth software that a lot of people, even photo boothers, don't know, is that you want to be on manual focus with the lens. So in photography, everybody loves that. You have manual controls, but the focus is still automatic. But in photo booth, you want to be in manual because people are constantly moving, jumping in and out. The camera's struggling to focus on a subject, and in the end, it crashes the software. What is the best photo booth software to buy? Quick, everybody. Breeze. Darkroom. That's it. Spark Booth, yeah, Spark Booth, nice, I like that. Any other ones? You guys heard any other photo booth software out there? Photo Party Upload, those are all awesome. So what I like to tell people when they're first starting is the best software is the software that makes you most comfortable and does the job you need best. And the only way you're going to know that is if you download all of them and try it. Because I've had people download Breeze and go, what is this? This is horrible. And here you are, right? He swears by it. So it's different for everybody. For basic photos and photo strips, they're all good. That's just like, okay, photographers, what's better, Canon or Nikon? Do they both work? Yes. DJs, Serato or Tractor, which is better? They both work. So that's the same applies to photo booths. My one piece of advice here is don't let price be a factor. All the software is going to range anywhere from $200 to $500. And if it's $500 and you know it like that you would have wished you paid $500 when you're at an event with a wedding and the bride standing there and say, can I make another preprint? And you have no idea how to do it. So, yes? That's a very good question. I've been using, in some of our entry-level booths, I've been using the same software since Windows 8. Not even 8.1, not even an update, because our philosophy is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because back in Windows 8, which was probably about 2 years ago, it was making prints just fine. So we turned off all updates, and it's at that particular version of that software is already updated to the very end before the next version came out. So we have several different iterations, and before we introduce anything new, we would actually buy a second laptop and try it on that. So if we have a gig this weekend, we don't have any issues. Make sense? So there's a lot of software out there. You can write these down. Breeze, Darkroom, DSLR Booth, Spark Booth, Social Booth, Photo Booth Upload. They all work. Should I buy or build my photo booth? Oh, I love this question. My first question back is, have you ever built anything before? But dog crate, speakers for your car, speakers for your DJ system. So it really depends on your experience. If you want to build something, I would recommend that you do that as a second booth, because building is two steps. They work in parallels. On one side, you have to know how to glue and cut and nail and design. That's one aspect. But the other aspect is the utility side, is the tech specs. How high should the camera be? What type of lighting am I going to use? Will it overheat? Will it work with LEDs? So those are things to consider when building. One of the groups that I love this group by Shardik Johnson. He does awesome builds. And I wrote this down. The name of the group on Facebook is DIY Photo Booth Idea Sharing. There's some beautiful builds in the DIY group that are like built in barns and sheds, and they're so beautiful, and I'll show you a couple of those. Another one is by Box Fan Booth Enthusiast on Facebook. Anybody ever heard of Marcus Thompson? Marcus A. Thompson? Nobody? All right. He's in a group called Timex Social Club, DJs, if you guys ever heard of that. There you go. They did a song called Rumors. So look at all these rumors. Right, that was his song, and he runs this photo booth group that's absolutely amazing. He makes photo booths out of fans, right? Like on a hot summer day. Not joking. He's bargain shopper during like the middle, like September, October, when they're like putting fans on clearance, he goes to buy them. And he makes fans out of photo booths. I'm sorry? Which one? Box Fan Booth Enthusiast, BFBE. So is it worth it? It's worth it if you know what you're doing. And what's the most expensive part? This is what doesn't change. Electronics are going to be the same price across the board, whether you build them or not. You're not at home building tablets. I doubt anybody is. So the price of the electronics is going to be the same. The difference is going to be in the material and the time you spend for the kiosk. What is your opportunity cost? And I always ask people, hey, if you have a gig in 30 days, are you going to be ready? Is your booth going to show up in pieces? Are you going to end up doing a refund to the bride? That's pretty scary, right? But if you had it built, then you can focus on more of the customer service and the software aspects, as those are both really challenging. So that's building versus buying. If you could have done three jobs versus one because you're still waiting for a part to come in, was it worth building? So the conclusions is you really have to decide what your savings are going to be. I wanted to include this side because this is really different. Everything I see on the floor, everything I see online is a box. It's a rectangle. And this guy built it out of a heart. Right? Beautiful? I thought so. And even look at his lighting that he's coming out top. He has little hearts using a DSLR, it looks like, and he has a touchscreen. I believe this is Jay Cotton is the builder. He's a rock star. This is just absolutely beautiful. Okay, we talked about Marcus A. Thompson's fan booth. Who would have thought that was a fan? Right? He gets corporate accounts. Is that not a corporate account? Okay. I've been trying to get him out to mobile booth because I asked him, how much did it cost you to build this with the electronics? How much do you guys think he spent? 800? Yeah, he's good. He could do for 800. Anybody else? $3 grand? Okay, somewhere in between there. He spent $1,500 including the electronics. Very, very impressive. And there you go, right? CarMax. That's what it looks like. He does multiple of these. Anytime there's clearance on fans, he has a new booth. And this is really beautiful here too, because he included the alien bees flash with the umbrella on top. I really like that. And I like the fact that it swivels for people at different height. So I think that's what he saw in that. Oh, sorry. I was shopping on IKEA. No, not really. The reason that I have this in the slideshow is because there's another group online, and I don't really know what the name is, but it's IKEA Photo Booth Builders or something like that. Look, he spent $49, right? That's the actual, if you have IKEA in your area, on a medicine cabinet. So it's probably medicine cabinets on Facebook or something. And there you go. Okay, so that booth shell right there cost him $50. You guys impressed? Yeah, I think so too. I don't know the builder, but you can look it up. He's a rock star. So what is the best photo booth to buy? I think if you're going to do corporate events, I'd be a little skeptical about bringing a medicine cabinet, right? But for a birthday or a wedding, you could probably get away with that. The best booth out there is all relative. It's like asking, what is the best suit to buy? Is it the Calvin Klein or the Armani? Ultimately, it's going to be a custom suit because it's built for me. So the best booth for you is going to be the one that fits in your car the best, the one that you're most familiar with, or how you can store it. So things to consider: transport, storage, personnel. One of my favorite booths that I saw that I really wanted to buy was a mirror booth by PhotoMaster. It's $10,000 worth of software. I was thoroughly convinced that I had to have this thing. It was $10,000, and until I realized, like, it doesn't fit in my Prius. Okay, no problem. There's no problem. I can buy a trailer for $2,000. So now it's a $12,000 investment until I realize, you know what, that Prius is not going to tow my trailer. So that's another $15,000 for a truck. It's now a $27,000 investment. So one of my favorite booths right now is the Min booth. This guy is the king of corporate. He does iHeartRadio. He travels like 36 months out of the year. There's probably people in this room who have it. Patrick, Panda Pics. You owe me for that plug. And he travels, it's so lightweight, it's easy, it's full-featured, it's sturdy, high resolution. There's this guy by the name of Cy Sterling. Has anybody ever heard of him? No? Cy Sterling is the president of the Hair Club for Men. Right? And you're probably wondering, what does that have to do with the photo booth? Get off stage. The reason I mention him is because of his catchphrase, right? I'm not only the president, but I'm a client. So my point being, he set precedents. He had confidence in his own product. He walked around with a head full of hair. So, hey, if he's using it, then I'm going to use it too. You want to buy from a user. That's why I like Minbooth. He's on the road 30 weeks out of the year. That's not to mention what he has in his office, and he works year-round. You'll see him.
What name were you saying? Sorry.
Minbooth.
Min?
Yeah,
Min.
M-I-N-B-O-O-T-H, Minbooth. He has a great understanding of technical specs. He has a great understanding of manufacturing. He has a great understanding of photography. And when you have that type of knowledge, you can build one of the best compact, full-feature, high-resolution booths around. Oh, and if it's in my Prius. I love that. This is the mirror booth by PhotoMaster. So if that fits in your car, that would be awesome. I love that. So iPad, webcam, DSLR, all three are fine, but they all serve a different purpose. In our fleet, we have the DSLR and the iPads. If you're a photographer, what's your first choice though? Always going to be a DSLR. Why? Tell everybody. Yeah, backup equipment, highest quality. You probably shooting with your, Mark 1 or D4, and then you can put a 7D in your photo booth, which is probably overkill, but it's also going to give you the highest quality. There's no webcam out there that's going to produce a better photo than a DSLR, and that's what I want representing my company. If you want simple, you want to learn exposure triangle, you want to learn about lighting, if you just buy a bunch of lights, then the iPad or webcam works. The biggest drawback to iPad or webcam is what? Anyone? Photographers, help me out here. It doesn't trigger a flash. Okay, the flash is an awesome thing. Why? Because it signifies to the user, hey, I've taken a picture, it's 1 out of 3, I can change the pose, and keep continuing. Not only that, but it also freezes the action. Because everybody in the photo booth wants the photo bomb. I don't know why, but they just do. So to me, the DSLR is preferred in terms of price. You can get an entry-level DSLR, $300-400. You want to buy an external flash anywhere from $100 to a Pro Photo, which is $1,500. You don't need it. And also, it also give you the highest output, the highest quality. So it really comes down to how you want to represent your business. Okay, so here's an example of a picture. And what do you have? You have the lady, she's clear, she's in focus, and the guy's blurry. How is that possible? How is it that my lens could focus on one person and then be blurry on the next, the person next to her at the same area be blurry? What happened here? He's moving. Is it because short depth of field? Slow shutter speed. Okay? So this is what happens when you use a webcam and an iPad. This would never happen in a DSLR. Well, maybe if you're shooting really low, I'll be honest, if you're shooting low light and you have really slow shutter speed, this would happen. But if this had flash, this would never happen, because I would be embarrassed to give this to my client. Would you? Okay. So the best printer to buy. Ooh, there's a lot of good printers out there, but I want to signify one thing. If you're going to be in the photo booth industry, make sure you buy Dye-Sub, okay? People are going to tell you, no, inkjets are better, and they are. There's a fantastic inkjet that's on the floor in the imaging spectrum booth. It's a Fuji printer. It's like $18.95. It does these gigantic photo strips, and the quality is just phenomenal. But when you're standing next to a bride, 10 seconds is like an eternity. They're like, okay, are we getting the prints today? Like, yeah, it's coming, don't worry. So always buy a die sub, okay? Buy 2 of them. Buy 2 from Imaging Spectrum. You always need backup, right? Whether you're a DJ, photographer, what do we always emphasize? Backup, backup, and backup.
How much is a die sub?
Die subs, yes, good question. That's on the next line right there. So I'll get there in a second. Great, no worries, that's a great question. There's a lot of great printers. DMP is a very unfamiliar name, but Mitsubishi is a major manufacturer. They make them, high T, any of them, you can't miss. They all average around 10 seconds per print, and they range from $400 to $1,200. Can I answer your question?
All range of die subs?
All the die subs in the photo booth industry that's portable will range from $400 to $1,200. If you buy a $3,600 printer, I don't know how much more you would get out of it, but I haven't seen one.
Never skimp on your printers.
Yes, never skip on
It's
the
always
printers.
going to be something that it's like your car, you want the engine to run. And I've seen photo booth companies come out there with just an iPad and a cheap printer that is like $125, which is called a selfie printer, okay? And it takes up to 10 minutes for the print to print. And it's the most archaic thing in the world because it spits the paper out once, sucks it back in, and does that 4 times before they get a picture. So your printer has got to be reliable, and your DMP, your Mitsubishi, your Heidi, out of all of those, we've been using DMP. We have like 6 DMPs, and we love our DMPs.
Stop bragging. Thank you. No, that's a very good point. So yeah, if you're cruising around at Target and you see a Canon die sub, don't buy that one. That one's great for home. It is a die sub, don't get me wrong, but not all die subs. Okay, that die sub is about this big. It's great for backup. If my printer blew up, then I would wish I had it. But if you're going to use it on a regular basis, you probably don't want to get that one. Yes? Yeah, that's a good question, and I'm going to get there in about 30 seconds. So, yeah, no, take your time. I love the questions, by the way.
Okay, so the die sub, I'm totally brand new. I'm not.
Yeah, no, good question.
I know nothing, talking about it. So the die sub is what you need to juice up the printer, but you're actually buying it's your DMP printer, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, just to clarify, you're actually buying a printer, but there's 2 types of printers. Just like there's hybrid cars, there's electric cars, there's naturally aspirated cars. So one spits out ink, and it's going to be wet, and it can be wet to the touch. Die sub is on these ribbons, and they heat transfer over, so they're dry to the touch. So that's another good point. So kids love to come up and grab. You don't want to, because you'll see like a nice thumbprint if it's not dry yet. And you get that with inkjet. With die sub, you won't get that. So it's just the type of color process and processing that goes on. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
No. And thank you for asking that. See, it's just so normal to me. So.
And then which he's saying DMP provides the printer or DMP die sub, and what do you say provides?
It depends on what you need. So here's the next line. If you need something, if you're at a festival and you know what's a Coachella and there's 10,000 people, you need the fastest print, I would buy a DMP DS40. DS40 is the model that DMP makes. It's the fastest. It's 7 seconds for a 4x6 print. If you fly a lot, like Min, he would probably get a Mitsubishi because it actually fits underneath the seat of an airplane or in the overhead compartment. So it starts out, yes, he upgraded the 620, which is $9.99 at the Imaging Spectrum booth, and he flies with that. So
we are running shows we're all here for. So after running, so we'll do, I'm a running officiate. Bring them, set it up, boom, marrying them, blah, 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 doing your shooting, blah, blah, blah. After 2 hours, pack it up and go. So,
As someone just like you are, we run a DMP, and I absolutely love that printer.
which one?
The DMP,
DS40?
yes.
Yeah, it's heavy, it's built like a tank, it's got metal in it. I've dropped it a few times and it's still ticking.
By heavy, are you talking like 20 pounds?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Give me 10 more seconds. So, no. The smallest is the Mitsubishi, the lightest is the Brava at 22 pounds. How do I know this? Because I just sit at home and just study these specs? No. Okay, so if you see at the very bottom, it says www.imagingspectrum.com/printer-comparison.chart. Here we go, okay? You just let me get to it, I promise. Voila. So here, I'm trying to go as fast as I can. I give away prizes first. Okay, so now you know like approximately how much they are. Don't let that $18.95 get you. That's kind of like an upgrade at the very end. If I can pull it out of my bag, I'll show you. There's this giant 4-inch by 12-inch photo strip that's completely different. You always want to look for, as an entrepreneur, as a company, you want to be different from everybody else, right? And Bill Barnkamp, he likes to tell me, size makes a difference. You know, so while everybody has 2-inch by 6-inch strips, you have a yeah, wow. See, size does make a difference, she knows. 4-inch by 12-inch strip, it's the Fuji printer out on the floor, and it's $18.95. I don't recommend that as your first printer. This is more of an upsell. You know, I'm right between $400 and $1,200 for your standard prints. You would not take this to a child's, kids party because it's expensive, number one, and it takes almost 20 seconds to make this print. Okay? But you offer something different. That's all. That's the only point that I want to make. That's why I pulled it out of my bag. All right, so does everybody have this? Imaging Spectrum is also where I like to buy my printers. They don't pay me anything, but they're in Plano, Texas, and they have one of the best customer service out there. Would you agree? Yes. Okay. Let's keep going. So, do we do this full-time or part-time? And the answer is yes and yes. You can do it as an addition to one of your businesses, or you can start from scratch. And I understand not everybody's going to make the jump early on. In order to make the jump, you have to have income. But in a market like myself in Los Angeles, where it's saturated, you're at a disadvantage because they're not going to call you and leave a message and wait for you to call them back, right? We know that. We're professionals. So that's the disadvantage of doing it part-time. You got to run outside, oh boss, I'm going to take a break and call this person back, and they're going to, send me the contract, and you're just at a total disadvantage. So that's full-time versus part-time. You want to be competitive and answer your phone 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., whatever, whoever answers the phone first. Okay, I got 5 minutes. So when you do have time, when you want to be constantly working on your SEO, new software. I like the boomerang thing that's going on right now. So I'm going to go a little quicker. Where do you buy these items? Number one, it's Amazon. Really A to Z. You could buy cameras, props, but it's not good with custom or niche items. That's why we have specific photo booth stores that we go to. Why not paper pots on Etsy? We all know why. They just don't last. They don't even last 15 minutes. They start to curl and fall apart. What about hats or masks? I like hats and masks, but I don't like booger snots or lice. That's why I recommend sun stashes. Look, I was wearing those. You don't like it? Take Clorox wipe them. You can use them 10, 20 events before somebody steals them. Okay? How about specialized scrapbooks? Joann's, Michael's, great, but there's a specialized book where you can slide into vinyl sleeves, 2x6 photo strips. Not available at Michael's, not available at Joann's. My next slide, I got 4 minutes. What about the booth? What about the booth? Can you go to Guitar Center or Sam Ash or BH Photo? No, nobody sells a photo booth. It's all these little stores. So number one, PB backdrops right here. Write this down really quick. 20% off. What's great about this is it folds down into like a 3 feet by 1 feet bag that you can put in the back seat or in the back of the Prius. It's double-sided, so you can have your logo on one side and print on the other. And you get 20% off, so you can get a matching table cover and backdrops and PB backdrops. Good? All right, next. Fun props that last. Afterwards, come see me. PopStudioProps.com. I like these PVC signs because they're cleanable, they're double-sided, and you can get a whole set and they're matching and they look great in photos. And if you come catch me afterwards, I'll give you these slides. I actually have some promo cards real quick. 20% off, okay? Next one. These sun stashes that we got, like the Wonder Woman, that's $13.99 on their site. I'm going to teach you how to get it for $5. Go to their sister site, noveltysunglasses.com. You can buy it for $5 wholesale. If you are a business, you can buy that for 65% off. And with WMBA 10, you save another 10% on a $150 order. 20% off on this one-stop photo booth shop. This album, you can see how neat it is? There's no glue. I had brides come back and tell me, oh my God, some kid came by, glued the pictures in there, can I get these reprinted? Because it took 2 pages, got what? Glued together. Okay, but when you have the vinyl sleeve, that doesn't happen. So one-stop photo booth shop, photoboothsalbums.com. Here we go, Min Booth. This is minbooth.com and the sister company, yoprops.com. How many out there value your service? You guys like the discount? No, neither does he, because I asked him. There's no discount on Min Prop because he values his booth. There's just no discount. Yeah, what can I tell you? So, but he does have a sister company, and it's called yoprops.com with Holiday 30, expires October 5th. Okay? Darkroom booth. Show special here, they're on the floor. Regular $295, you can get it for $250. Yes? Last but not least, you need help putting your booth together? You get me. 3 months of one-on-one photo booth consulting, step-by-step, how to get started, help to decide which software, what booth was right, how to get the best deals, work with reputable vendors because there are a lot of shady people out there. Checklists before a gig, tips on how to pack, where to get your first gig, how to get a grade A website and rank high on Google. Unlimited emails and phone calls to me. I can save you thousands on mistakes that I made by myself. Okay? Here you go. Check it out. I will give you 1 license of Darkroom Booth 3, 1 book, and the Photo Prop Studios set right there. Today, if you're ready to start your photo booth business, email me. First person to email me, I charge $9.99 for this service. Today, I have 1 set, $500. You get everything that you see here. The license alone is worth $295. Okay? I gotta imagine that my knowledge is worth more than $100. All right?
Okay, Rex, we're going to open the floor for some questions. I'll bring the mic over to you.
We're going to do questions. Does anybody have any questions? Yes?
So obviously we've seen this explosion of photo booth in the last couple of wedding seasons. What are your predictions or concerns for this no longer being something that couple would want?
Oh, God. That's right up there with, the DJ market is oversaturated. You're not going to make any money.
Basically, the one thing that I asked all the people who are getting into this business, don't undercut the market. Okay? If you keep your prices up and build value into what you do, the market's going to stay at a level that's going to be able to sustain the level of everybody out there, okay? The moment everybody starts undercutting everybody else, it's a race to the bottom. And that's how, the way I look at it, we have not dropped our prices in 9 years. Matter of fact, we've raised our prices. Okay, and if you build the value into what you're doing, you're going to get people that are going to see that value. They're going to pay that price for you.
I have, go ahead real quick, because I have one more thing.
I'll be real quick. I have my own venue. Do you think that building the photo booth in one spot and making it a permanent structure is a good or a bad idea?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to you about that afterwards. I've never gotten that question before.
I've dealt with venues in the past, and unless you have someone that's technically inclined that can repair said booth when your guests trash it, that's the only problem you run into. There are commercial booths that are out there that will work quite well and do have support, but I don't suggest building one.
My question is very clear. Do you want to be in the photo booth business or do you not?
I want to be in the venue business. Okay? So I got one more thing real quick. I always want to do this because he's my idol. How many of you ever wanted or had the question, God, this prints look great. How do I get a copy? So now there's a piece of software that works with any of the photo booth software that will allow you to email the photos to yourself. And it's called Mash Booth app. You can email the photo strips directly after a session. It was created by the founder, Jason Matriano. Right here, Mash Booth app. It not only does your photo strips, it does the individual photos, and you're also able to email the animated GIFs. So what would you guys expect to pay for an app like this? $2.99? $2.49? $99. I mean, this is terrible. $49. $49? Would you buy it if it was 99 cents? Well, today, because you guys are MBA members or attendees, it's free. Yeah. And oh, hold on. And it's available on the App Store today. Free. Download. Hurry. Go download it. It's absolutely free. There's no advertising on it. This is an absolute game changer. I used it at an event 2 weeks ago, and I'm not even selling it. It's free. Free. That's it. Okay? No, it's free. That's free, Patrick. No, it's free. Free all
Do
the
we
time.
have any other questions in the room? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rex Wong.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a great show.